Hi, good afternoon, good morning, depends where you are. It's day 11 of lockdown. Yesterday, I wasn't able to put a video up. I was completely swamped with work and the kids and everything else. So I really apologize. Nothing's happened here, just a matter of being really busy. Anyway, as I said, it's day 11. Where are we with stats on day 11? We're hitting the 40,000 cases, infected cases here in Spain, and 2,700 deaths. Good news here is probably there's been 4,000 people released from the hospitals, which is a good sign. So there's plenty of work there done by the good doctors and nurses within the hospitals. Now, as you see, the numbers have gone up, okay, and it's what was expected actually by what they were telling us at the beginning of this week. We're expecting this week to be very crucial in regards to figures as we're going into the second week of, let's say, quarantine or lockdown. Okay, so they did warn us that this week we're expecting new cases, like about 5 to 8, 10,000 new cases per day, just to warn the population and not to be surprised with these figures. Okay, now what happens there? Well, I'm not really sure what the death rate's going to be like there, but that's going to be a concern. Just to let you know that today alone, 500 people have died, and here we're seeing starting to see a huge collapse within the hospitals. But the sad news here is not just the hospitals; it's also the morgues, the cemeteries, and let's say the crematoriums as well. Okay, an average in Madrid, the capital, is about 75 deaths per day. Okay, so now if we're hitting the 500 mark plus the 75 normal people that die, okay, it's just gone way past the capacity of all areas. So what they've decided to do is let's say, use the Madrid ice skating ring as a morgue as well. Okay, so because the hospitals are completely, let's say the fridges or whatever are completely collapsed. Okay, they can't fit anymore. The morgues are also collapsed. There's no more bodies that can fit in. So what they're starting to use is the ice skating ring. So we're expecting this for the next five days. Okay, so it's going to be let's say sad news from now on to the end of these 5 days. After that, we'll hopefully reach the peak and come down. So just looking at that, if we're looking between 5 to 10,000 per day, and we're already on the 40,000 mark, we could be hitting the 80, 90 infected cases here in Spain. Okay, in deaths, well, obviously a lot more than what we've currently got, which is 2,700. So we will be going on to the 6,000. Comparison with Australia, well, I've been trying to look at the figures in Australia. I'm trying to get daily figures, okay, to see where we are with Australia. It wasn't that easy actually, so I had to go to some external websites to go to sort of get that information. Right now, by looking at the figures that we've got in Australia today, we've got 2,139 cases, okay, and there's 8 deaths. Okay, just to sort of give you an estimation on where we were. When we had around 2,147 infected cases, on that day we had 506 new cases, okay, and we were at 54 deaths. Now, obviously, there's huge differences between Spain and Australia. Okay, probably want to go into it. I don't want to. These videos are not there to sort of like gloom and doom. It's the end of the world. No, nothing at all. It's more than anything just to keep you guys informed, okay, and have your eyes open to what's going to happen. I'm not expecting, let's say, as high as a death rate compared to Spain. No, not at all. It's not comparison. Okay, but it is interesting for you guys to know when it hits when the news starts to come up that there's been an increase of 500 people today, or there has been an increase of 800 or 1,000 or 2,000. It's only the norm. Okay, because that's what we're living as well. All right. Now I'm not expecting the death rate to come up to be as high as Spain. There's obvious reasons. All right, geographic. Australia's twice the size, 13 times the size of Spain, okay? And the population isn't as big either, right? The population of Spain is 46 million compared to probably the 26 million that you've got in Australia now. Okay, so there's 20 million more people in Spain. Also, it's more condensed as well, all right? The population is more condensed, and you're probably got to take in note that, as I've tried to advise in many of the videos, is that Madrid is the first city that's been, let's say, infected before any of the other regions. And we've seen that, within other countries within the world, that it's been a smaller region or a smaller city, let's say. Wuhan is not the capital of China. Lombardia is a region within Italy. Obviously you got Milan, but it's not Rome or the other regions, so it's sort of like come through a region. And then you've got Madrid, which is the capital, and it is, let's say, it's a region in itself, and it's a capital as well, with a high density population. Just, I think it's 6.6 million in Madrid, okay? We'll see what happens in New York. If you start to see, New York is actually another city that's been hit straight away, a major city. Okay, it's probably not the capital, it's not Washington, but it is a major city, okay, with a high population and very condensed as well, okay, and we've seen how that's starting to rocket up there. So Madrid is very, let's say, condensed population, as I said, 6.6 million. Just to let you know that in my building, we've got like 100 apartments, 100. And let's put an estimation that within each apartment, there's 3 to 5 people living in that apartment. So within this block, there's about 300 to 500 people living in this block, okay? So it's very important to take note of as well, compared to Australia, which is extended. You've got your houses, etc., etc., okay? The city, apartments are small, as I said. And one of the main things as well is, since the apartments are small, we live a lot out on the streets. Okay, so we go to the local bars for your tapper, we go to the squares, we go to the parks a lot, so we're out on the street. It's not like in Australia where you're at your home and you may go to the beach or you may go to a park, but you've normally got everything within your house, okay? Here, your houses are small, so you've got to get out. So that's also very important as well. Also, one of the things is, since Madrid was the capital, right, and it's right in the center of Spain, okay, what happens is, come the weekend, and especially if it's good weather, people leave the city. Either go to their hometowns, okay, go to the mountains, go skiing, or go to the beach. Okay, so there's a lot of movement of people here. Okay. As I say, I'll probably let you know in the last video, or one of the videos, from here to the beach, we're only 3 hours away. So it's not big. Okay, in Australia we sort of say, 3 hours away because we've got everything so close. But if we want to go for a swim to the beach, we've got to get the car and we've got to go out there, and we'll spend the weekend out there. Okay, a lot of the Spanish have got holiday houses on the beach. Large percent of the population, if it's not the beach, it's their hometowns. Okay, so we have two residences. So that's probably one of the causes why it's spread so quickly within Spain as well. Also, one of the other reasons is probably cultural as well. Why cultural? Well, as I mentioned, people on the streets, the way we meet and greet each other. It's not just a matter of shaking our hands. We give, the men give ladies and the kids 2 kisses. The ladies give them between themselves as well 2 kisses as well. So that's how we meet and greet. Very close. As I said, we're always on the street, so when we see each other, it's like, hey, how are you? 2 kisses here and there, but so that's one of the reasons as well. One of the big factors as well, which someone brought up, which it sort of didn't I didn't take into consideration was the elderly. And it's something probably very common within the Mediterranean countries, let's say Spain, Italy and Greece, is that the elderly actually live with the families, especially within the crisis, the financial crisis. What sort of happened was there was a lot of families that had to sell up and they moved in with their parents, okay? And so hence the family block consists of the grandparents, the children, and then the grandchildren, okay? So that's a big factor as well. That's not the case in Australia. It's very, very, very rare. But here it's not, it's pretty common. So it's something that's probably going to play in your favour. At the end you've got the elderly who live in their own houses, okay, or in the aged care centre, okay, and hence they're isolated from, let's say, that family unit. Well, that's very common here as well. It's only when they probably get to about 80 or 90 where they're not, where they become a big burden because either they've Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or something like that, where they become a burden towards the family. That's when we'll move them on to an aged care centre. Okay, hence the reason we have this situation where there's a lot of aged care centres that one person comes in, infects one of the grandparents, and then that spreads viciously throughout that aged care centre. So that's we're facing that where there won't be one death in that aged care centre. There'll be 17 or 20, and even one of the cases I think there was 50 in one aged care centre alone. Okay, so that's something that you got to watch out. So you've got those two things there, where the elderly are at home, okay, with the family unit, the block there, and the infection comes through either through the grandchild or whatever, poof, it just goes right through, and then they're having to go to the hospital. Then you've got the other thing is the elderly aren't like locked up at home here or something like that. They're out on the streets. They're doing the shopping. They're out in the town square. They're in the park. They're playing cards. They're playing dominoes. They're playing whatever, bocce, like lawn bowls and things like that. It's a non-stop. They're active, very active, and not just that. Even the government gives them discounted trips around Spain. Okay, and as I said, they're very active here. But in this case, it's probably gone against them. Why? Because they're too active. They're out in the streets talking to one, talking to the other, so it's been able to spread quickly amongst them, and hence I would say that's probably why we've got a higher death rate here as well. Now, at the end, 90% of the death rates or more is more on the elderly, okay? And then you've got the case also where, I suppose here you've probably got that in Australia as well, where the grandparents, we're using the grandparents to take care of the grandchildren, either going to pick them up at school, make them lunch, etc., etc. Okay, don't forget, that's a compact city. We live very close. The Spanish ladies like to be very close to their parents, to help them out with everything. So everything's within the same block. Our blocks obviously aren't as big as the Aussie blocks. My in-laws just live 2 floors down. Okay, so that's probably something that you need to take care of as well. I'll probably just, within my block, I'd probably say, as I said, we're probably about 100 neighbours, and probably about 80 or 90% of those are people, older people. Okay, just so you know that our neighbour downstairs was picked up by an ambulance yesterday and was taken. Now, how fast can that spread around the block? I'm not really sure. Okay, but it's, just imagine, you're not talking about nursing homes or whatever, you're talking about even within the block, the units, okay, that can spread very quickly as well. So you have we've got a doorman here who goes every day and disinfects every floor. As I said, I'm not trying to make this doom and gloom. What I'm trying to do is bring you guys, give you first-hand news, okay, on what's happening here. I'm expecting, let's say, the infection to spread, all right, probably not as big as here, okay, but you will see like increases, and you start to get concerned with the figures, okay. As I said, it's only the norm. I try to put a presentation together where you can sort of see how it increased in Madrid, how it would jump from 100 to 200 to 500 to 800 to 1,000, and how it's gone up to 4,000 per day or 5,000 per day. So then you can look at how it's gradually increasing in Australia as well. But I'm not expecting anything bigger, anything compared to Spain, Italy, or New York, okay? But it's important for you guys to know, so then you're alert on what's happening and keep calm as well. That's probably about it. Hospitals are starting to collapse, but life just keeps on going. That's a good thing here in Europe. They've gone through so many situations in their life. If it wasn't a war, it was a plague, and if it wasn't a plague, it was something else. So they're just used to, life just keeps on, life just goes on. So that's good. I don't think anything else. We receive a lot of WhatsApps. I try not to read as many, or at least fact check them to make sure. A lot of people that come up with this is the latest cure, whatever. But you try to fact check. Seems like there's some good news from the US, but we'll wait to see what they announce there. There's some good intentions from people. I'll probably talk about that. But there's also some bad intentions from some people as well, which is just amazing that in this time of difficulty, people have think that bad. I'll see if I can touch that point. Someone asked me to raise that. I'll see if on the next call I can give you some examples, all right, on the good and on the bad. Anyway, everyone, I think that's long enough. Good to have yous. Good to speak to yous. Good to, sort of give you some updates on Spain and sort of keep you aware on what may happen within the country. Just keep focus, as the good old Monty Python used to say. What was it? The song, always look at the bright side of life. Dun, 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 dun. Take care, see you later.